So really quick before we get into this video, if you like this video, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe and all of that jazz. It really helps out the channel and I appreciate it. But today's video is going to be a continuation of what's being talked about lately, Riot trying to open up bot lane to other classes of champion by the mid-season. There was another post by Medler. I'm going to read it verbatim first, and then we're going to talk about it a bit more in depth afterwards. So, why open up bot lane? As mentioned last week, we're looking to open up bot lane to other classes beyond marksman. Seen quite a lot of discussion about that, ranging from people really excited to play other stuff bot to players who think it's a really terrible idea. Figure we should share some of our rationale as a result. What we're trying to do. We want to make it so other classes can be played bot if you want to. We don't want to push marksman out of bot lane. There'll still be a great choice there, and if you want to play nothing but marksman in bot, that should be a fine choice. This is not about forcing people who want to play marksman only to play other classes, but allowing people who want to play other things to do so. Can understand the concern about being pushed out of the only position some champions can play, and that's not our goal. We want to open up bot to a range of classes, not just marksman, and one other one. So in other words, right there, if that doesn't sound right, they want to open up to not just marksman bot lane, but not just also mages either. They want to open it up to at least about 3. That'll be a gradual process though. Most likely outcome is that mid-season opens up the position somewhat to mages most likely. Later work then opens it up more based off of parts learned in the mid-season. Why we think we should do it. We think League of Legends is a more enjoyable and interesting game when you can play a wider range of team comps and get a range of different laning experiences. A lot of players gravitate towards trying new stuff, experimenting in what does and doesn't work. Bot is currently much more limited in terms of what works there than other positions. We'd like to open it up as a result to players who want to go bot but don't like marksman, and players who like marksman but would also like to play some other classes. That's been a frequent request from many players from a long time. So then furthermore, I'm going to play a really short clip from August Browning, aka Riot Jinxie Lord, where this was asked on his stream a couple days ago, and he explained pretty much that it works like kind of how we explained it in a previous video. So I'll play that clip first.
What do you think about, oh yeah, so Riot's planning on opening up bot lane for things like mages, but you say you guys accidentally killed off ADCs altogether in the process, so you should stop trying to make it work? Ulix, if we kill off ADCs and that's our solution to opening up bot lane, then we're not opening up bot lane in the correct way. Like, the plan isn't to kill off ADCs. Oh god, what am I doing? The plan is to make it so ADCs aren't necessarily, like, needed in bot lane. Like, maybe they can go other places and they should still be viable. Like, if you're a Sivir main, you should still be able to play Sivir in bot. It's kind of like how in top, like, if you're a tank main, you can play tanks in top whenever you want, right? Like, it's not like oh man, I can't play these anymore. Ooh, uppercut.
And pretty much the idea is basically in other roles like top lane or mid lane you can play mages. If mages are meta, you definitely play mages. But if you're an assassin player, you're just going to play assassins anyway. You're known as a mid lane player, you're not known as a mage player. The way right now AD carries are called AD carries, they're not called bot laners because they only play AD carries. It's not like a bot lane of different metas and stuff. And even if they play one class specifically really well, like marksman, or like in the mid lane assassins, or like in the top lane tanks, right now AD carries, that's just kind of it. You also, the way the system works, you really can't play anything else bot lane unless you're really good at it. It's a really good matchup, or else you just get punished really hard. The reason looking at mages too is because mages already have range, so that's probably a good segue before opening up to more melee stuff, of course. So, like I said, talk about this point by point. First point, we want to make it so that other classes can be played bot if you want to. They don't want to force people to play other things besides marksman. If you want to play marksman, they want to make it and keep it so that you still can. They just want to make this change so that if you're someone that's like, you know, honestly, Yasuo Aatrox bot lane is really, really great, they want to be able to go, okay, well, you can actually play that then if you want to. Because right now, the thing about bot lane that some people maybe don't quite realize, or maybe they do realize they don't care, whatever, is it's the only duo lane, right? You do have the solo lanes, you can play solo things, 1v1 and outplay people that way, but some people want to try like 2v2ing and outplay people that way. They have a duo they want to play with, they have a combo they want to try, and they want to actually have that experience. And right now that's only a bot lane experience because the way marksmen are balanced, there's a lot of AD carries who they can't survive in a solo lane. They have to have a support there, mainly to survive ganks. A Kog'Maw might be able to 1v1 Draven with a recurve bow right now because that makes absolutely no sense. But right now, if he is extended against that Draven, Lee Sin's going to come down and he's going to have no tools to stop Lee Sin. He has the slow or whatever, but let's be real, Lee Sin is super mobile. He'll be able to get around that, even if he gets hit by the slow. Same with the Jinx. The Flame Chompers can now stop dashes over them, but you know what? You can even just take the stun for like, what is it, a second and a half, and still probably catch Jinx with the Ward Hop and your Q when you throw it and it hits even though it should have missed. So my point is, there's a lot of champions in that role that they need a support just to survive, stuff like that. Solo laners, they don't need it as much. They most likely have a lot more mobility in their kit, or they're, just beefier or tankier. But there's some people that are like, well, I want that duo experience because the way I have a certain combo I want to try out. I think I can win and crush really hard if I do this, but I can't because the system doesn't really support it. But they just want to make it clear that no, you don't have to play those kinds of things if it does become a thing. You can still play marksman if you want to. If you're a marksman only, player, like people are assassin only players, that's fine, and they want to keep that around. So they don't want to push marksman out of the bot lane. They want to still allow that class to be a great choice in the bottom lane, but they just want to make it so that, hey, if you want to go like a double mage bot lane, the Zyra Cassiopeia bot lane or something like that, which actually sounds really disgusting based on their intermediate bots always being very annoying if they get fed. So that actually might be something they want to see happen because they're trying to support mages down there at least. So further on, why they think they should do it. The whole idea that League is more enjoyable and an interesting game when a wider range of team comps and different laning experiences are possible, that has to do with staleness, of course, right? We see it with new champions. When a new rework comes out, a new mechanic or gimmick or whatever happens, they talk about, keeping the game fresh. And with League, even if you don't believe it, Riot has said this in the past. They want League to be around for decades. They want it to be something people can enjoy years from now, years when we're all gone even, like just many years into the future. They want League to be a game that's very enjoyable, still healthy, still fresh, still something fun that people can play. And to do that, that means they not only need to, do new champions and stuff like that from time to time, but just make systematic changes that make the game feel better as well. And by doing this change, you won't have to have the quote-unquote staleness of only marksman bottom lane. You'll be able to go, hey, this game could literally be anything. I'm queuing up, I'm getting whatever role because autofill exists, and we don't know what we're actually about to walk into because the team comp can literally be absolutely anything. We don't know. Between picks and bans, and between everything being able to go bot eventually, we have no idea. On top of that, when it comes to this, I also want to mention, because I don't think it's being very talked about a lot or in depth by the posts that are being made, they also want to allow marksmen to be able to go to other places. So it's not specifically just about opening bot lane to mages or something. They also want to make it so, as I mentioned earlier, certain champions, they can't survive without a duo. Well, down the road, what they learned from this mid-season change, they want to apply it to those marksmen and maybe be able to allow them to be able to go into a solo lane. So that way, if you're a Kog'Maw main, and like the Yasuo and Aatrox are going bottom lane, you could actually survive if you want to go top lane, and it'd be fine. Now, I'm a little bit hesitant about that because even as an AD carry player, I feel like certain champions need to have some risk in the laning phase because of how well their mid and late game is. That's the window to shut them down. As biased as I want to be, if a Jinx just got a free ride to her mid to late game, that probably wouldn't be fun to all parties involved except us Jinx players, and then not even to us because they would have to eventually nerf our champion to make her balance, and then it'd be like a loss for everybody involved. So I do wonder how exactly they are planning on doing that, but it has been actually mentioned that, yeah, down the road, then that's exactly what would happen. They'd open up other roles to marksmen, just like they're opening up the marksman role to other roles. That way, it's literally anyone's game. So then if you are someone that's like, I only want to play marksman, but maybe the bot lane matchup just really isn't desirable anymore because you are going against things like Yasuo, Aatrox, or Cassiopeia, Zyra, well now if you're like a Lucian player, well maybe not Lucian, he kind of goes anywhere anyway, but like I said, Kog'Maw, you could be like, I'm going top then, forget this, I don't want to go against that, so fine, so be it, I'm top lane. Or you are that Jinx player and you're like, you know what, I'm going mid lane. Or with the recent 8.2 changes, by the way, you can actually go like on hit jungle Jinx. It's actually really good again. Not top tier or anything like that, but like it's like a secret thing. If you're already good at Jinx and already good at jungling, you can try that out. It actually kind of works out. It's actually not right at all. But anyways, back on topic. In conclusion, there's not a lot of stuff on the table yet, of course. The mid-season isn't going to be till like May or June when it usually is. So it's still quite a bit of months out. But in general, they want to make sure they're letting people know they hear them. Letting people know they hear their complaints, letting people know they hear their worries. Hey, don't worry about it, marksman is not about to become a sufferable role. We're not trying to kill off AD carries or wipe them out the game by any means. We're just trying to make it like in other roles when a certain meta rotates. If you want to play something else bottom lane, you can. But just like when other metas rotates, like we mentioned, if mages are mid lane but you're an assassin player, you can just still play assassins, if you're good enough on the assassin champion, of course. Obviously, if you're not good enough, then it isn't really a matter of a role being killed out, as much as you maybe needing to get good. I'm not going to go too much into that, of course, because I feel like I'm getting a little bit biased. So what I am going to do is kind of end the video here then. So, in the comment section down below, let's have a more in-depth discussion about what do you really feel about not just marksman and other roles being able to go down in the bottom lane, but the idea also of potentially marksman in the future being able to go to another role. Because I know in the comment section of previous videos I've had people say, as an AD carry player, I don't like this idea, but would you like the idea more if they also allowed your class of champion to be able to go, say, top lane or mid lane or whatever, without having to have a support too? So, I don't know which video will be next, because life can be quite a mess. So until next time, take care from the Fire Go Die FS, and thank you for watching.